Rogue Traders. Warhammer 40k lore. In the almost incomprehensible vastness of the Imperium, where the shadows of annihilation loom over 1,000,000 worlds, emerges a breed of individuals as unique as they are formidable. The Rogue Traders. In the bygone era of the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy, they were known as the Rogue Traders Militant and performed the mixed role of explorer, conquistador, and interstellar merchant. They were tasked with venturing into the dangerous, uncharted abyss of the galaxy, beyond the Imperium's tenuous grasp. At the core of each rogue trader's authority lies a sacred warrant of trade, an ancient and revered document granting them the divine power to venture beyond the boundaries of the Imperium unimpeded, motivated by a lust for fortune and glory, or a sacred sense of duty to the God-Emperor of mankind. A rogue trader is a rare sovereign entity in the Imperium, a master of their vessel as they ply the cosmic expanse as they fulfill their warrant of trade. Be it to negotiate with the high society of planetary rulers, clandestinely broker deals in crime-riddled undercities, or lead armed hosts on plunderous raids, they act as they see fit. Above all else, they epitomize one principle: freedom. But that freedom comes at the cost of immense responsibility and doesn't mean they are free from repercussions. A warrant of trade often comes with a number of conditions attached to it to keep rogue traders from going renegade. Providing a charismatic individual with such power, in the form of a fleet and significant military forces, without any strings attached, would be the kind of folly those in positions of real power in the Imperium are unaccustomed to making. Breaching these conditions results in the dissolution of the warrant of trade and summary punishment for the rogue trader involved. For instance, it could be restrictions that limit a rogue trader to a specific area of space or prohibit a particular system from being visited ever again. They often include stipulations for regular trade and supply runs to specific worlds, ensuring the loyalty of distant systems, or finding and helping to colonize new worlds for the expansion of the Imperium. Because rogue traders wield such incredible political, economic, and military power beyond the Imperium's frontiers, it's common for them to become complacent and act inappropriately when they return to Imperial space. This has led to some having a less than stellar opinion of rogue traders. These intrepid explorers often hail from illustrious lineages, their histories intertwined with great leaders and visionary military commanders. Whether emerging from dynamic families within the Adeptus Terra, Imperial Navy, or Astra Militarum, rogue traders are masters of their destinies, bearing the weight of their endeavors, bloodlines, and even the destinies of entire worlds. Because of their nature of venturing into the uncharted void, rogue traders' vessels can appear strange and ramshackle, their ships being cobbled together from the spoils of victory, including Xenos technology of esoteric design. Their personal retinue is often as diverse as their vessels, with enlisted personnel that would be considered heretical under any other circumstances. Xenos, mutants, and unsanctioned psychers can be found in a rogue trader's service. But to employ such individuals requires a perilous balancing act, as a rogue trader walks the fine line between sanctioned nobility and outlaw. But such is the unequaled freedom bestowed on rogue traders. For the strength of a good rogue trader is seeing the potential in others and exploiting the unique talents of their crew to achieve their aims. Any serious breach of Imperial edicts will draw the attention of the relevant authorities. Should they have the power to do anything in a galaxy where might makes right, though, is another matter. But for example, renegade rogue traders declared guilty of heresy or treason are severely prosecuted by the Inquisition when they're eventually captured. Their punishment for failing to live up to the extraordinary level of trust that had been placed in them is so shockingly severe as to provide a fitting example to any other rogue traders that get ideas too lofty for the high station they have already been elevated to. To become a rogue trader, an individual must be bestowed with a warrant of trade, a highly valuable and coveted document that outlines the accepted limits of their operations within the galaxy. Bestowed upon them by the High Lords of Terra, these charters grant rogue traders unparalleled authority and freedom. Warrants of trade are typically hereditary, with some being ancient, signed by an actual primarch or even the emperor himself. This is because the origins of rogue traders trace all the way back to the early days of the Great Crusade. When the emperor conquered a realm, candidates that proved worthy would be presented with the option of servitude or death. Those who chose service were bestowed with the emperor's warrant of trade, a mandate to scout ahead of the crusading armies with their own fleets. In the modern Imperium, rogue traders are just as important, if not more so. With over 1 million scattered human-inhabited worlds separated by vast distances, powerful hostile forces, and impassable warp storms cutting the galaxy in half, the rogue traders are indispensable agents of the Imperium. Empowered by their warrants of trade, they operate beyond the central authority, exploring the fringes and halo zones where the Astronomican's light does not reach. It means that they are often the ones that make contact with long-forgotten human civilizations and discover worlds ripe for colonization. Their warrants even allow them to legally interact with cultures that regular Imperial citizens are forbidden from interacting with, such as non-Imperial human worlds or Xenos-controlled planets. After the Great Rift divided the Imperium, 100 rogue traders were summoned to Macragge. The resurrected Primarch Rabute Guilliman addressed them personally, recognizing the Imperium's dire need for pioneers. The Demon Mortarians' invasion of Ultramar during the Plague Wars had devastated the realm, and Guilliman saw the rogue traders as the vanguard of hope. While the Cicatrix Maledictum had cut off huge parts of the Imperium, it had also opened up never-before-explored warp routes. Lord Commander Guilliman tasked the assembled rogue traders to explore these uncharted areas of space in search of new worlds and resources the Imperium could use. No one knew what dangers and untapped opportunities awaited discovery, but they all knew that many of them would never return. Yet none of the rogue traders hesitated. Pride, duty, and adventure fueled their resolve. A rogue trader, armed with their warrant of trade, is truly an exceptional individual, standing far above the masses. They possess the autonomy to explore, trade, and make war across the galaxy, embracing the role of pioneer and diplomat. Whether they are flamboyant, charismatic leaders or calculated risk-takers, rogue traders embody the spirit of adventure and ambition. Traversing the violent currents of the warp far from the Astronomicon's light, in exchange for the rarest treasure in all of the Imperium, freedom.
I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give a like, and subscribe to become a part of our ever-growing Imperium of subscribers.